Hello everybody, my name is Tanner. Welcome back to High Ground. So I uploaded a few shorts videos. I mean, you can leave feedback on them here if you want. Of course, you can leave them on those videos. And if you're not aware that they're there, they are there. Go check them out. I did one for BDS, one for Liquid, one for Sonics, and I expect to get out a decent number more before SI starts. I don't think I'll do all 20 teams, but I'll do some more that strike my fancy. So, right, what are we talking about? You know what it is, the 6 Invitational 2023 North American Closed Qualifier. So we talked about this, going into it, and now we have the results. So let's take a look. It was, well, let's talk about the teams first. So SSG, TSM qualify via global standings points. They were the top 2-point earners from NA that didn't crack into the top 16. SSG was 21st globally, TSM 23rd. So SSG gets that first seed. They get to play against the 4th seed. TSM second seed plays against the 3rd seed. And then Mirage won the first open qualifier. Reality TV won the second open qualifier. So here we have the bracket. It is all best of 3, and it is a double elimination bracket. So everybody is able to lose one except for the team that gets to the grand final. They don't get a second life. Just in Siege, we never do bracket resets for whatever reason. It's just the established way. We usually have a map advantage. Well, maybe not usually. A lot of time we have map advantage. Maybe more often than not. I don't know the actual numbers on it, but the advantage this time around is the team that advances to the grand final via the upper bracket. They get to choose a map before their opponents get to ban any maps. So they pick, and then they do like 4 bans, and then our opponent picks, and then I think 2 more bans, and then the decider map is the last one standing. But we'll talk about that one when we get to it. Let's start with the upper bracket semi-finals. TSM versus Mirage first up. And this was a really, really close one. Mirage almost took this 2-0. They went up, I think, 6-5 the first map, and then they won the round to go 7-5. And then, if I remember right, I think they were also up 6-5 on Cafe, maybe even 6-4. But I believe they got to match point first. TSM made the comeback, won a few rounds in a row, won at 8-6. And then we go to Oregon, max regulation once again, and TSM close it out. So Mirage were very, very close to knocking TSM into the lower bracket early on. Of course, TSM the favorite in this matchup, SSG the favorite in this matchup. But we do have an upset in the second matchup. Reality TV taking down Space Station. I think surprised a lot of people. Some people, well, have more faith in Reality TV than other people. Undebatably the best Challenger League team this year, and they've had some roster changes, but they still look really good. They won the open qualifier, so they did earn their way here, no doubt about that. They kind of smoke SSG on border, and SSG generally pretty good on border, but I mean, if there's one map you might not want to take a less coordinated team to, and I don't personally know Reality TV's comms, their actual level of coordination, but in theory they should be less coordinated as a lower tier team. Yeah, border is maybe not the map to go to if they are gunning better than you on the day. Even if you're more coordinated and your strats are better, you can still just lose, and maybe that's what happened, maybe that's not, but one way or another, Reality TV take down SSG pretty easily on border. We go to Cafe, things flip, SSG win even more dominantly. I think this makes sense. Go to a much more linear, structured map in Cafe, border being on the complete opposite side of that spectrum. And yeah, just in terms of the actual strategy, Cafe, you just do the same things over and over. There's room for a little bit of deviation. You can break the mold. SSG has done that in the past with something like Ying, but usually you're just doing the same sort of stuff. Whoever can do it better wins, and SSG certainly played better on Cafe. Then we go to Theme Park, and I mean, I guess that's just how the map bans played out. Maybe SSG underestimated, overestimated something, whatever the case, but they lose out on Theme Park. Reality TV is like really good at it, undefeated on or something, like incredible stats on it. SSG have only played it like once, or I don't know, they don't play it very often. But another structured map seemed like they should have been able to maybe take it, but no, Reality TV advances to face TSM. And these two didn't happen simultaneously, but these two did, if I remember right. And then this one was on stream. This one was off stream until the first one ended, and then this one got put on stream. This one, of course, 3 maps versus the 2 maps here. And kind of weirdly, TSM smokes Reality TV. I say weirdly because, of course, they just put up a really good fight and defeated Space Station. And maybe this just boded poorly for Space Station, losing to Reality TV, who then got crushed by TSM. I also think this could just be a case of Reality TV lacking the longevity. Reality TV ran out of gas, or they just matched up poorly against TSM. Whatever the case, they get sort of smoked. 7-2, 7-3 Villa Bank. And then, meanwhile, Mirage are playing against Space Station, and another pretty close affair here. The first map pretty decisive, SSG 7-3 on Bank, but then we go overtime on Oregon, and Mirage take it down, and then a 7-5 on Clubhouse, so max regulation. But, Mirage had a couple of close series, but still they are the first one to fall in the in the SI Closed Qual. So then we go lower bracket final into grand final. The first 4 matches were played on Saturday, and the last 2 that I'm about to talk about were played on Sunday. So there's always a lot of talk about momentum and the advantages in the grand final. So with no map advantage, there's no like strictly tangible advantage that TSM had. Again, they got that map pick before any ban, so that is an advantage, but you can always just lose that map anyways. It's not a guarantee of anything. Whereas Space Station, and this could be an advantage or a disadvantage, they get to play a match before. So whoever wins this, whether it was Reality TV or Space Station, it was Space Station in this case, but they get to come in with momentum. They're all warmed up, they're all fired up, ready to play. And maybe TSM has a warm-up scrim before this, and well, they could lose the warm-up scrim, I guess, but presumably they do. Maybe they don't, depending on how they like to do things. But right, SSG comes in with the momentum at the very least, right? They are warm, and some people say that's an advantage. You might look at it as a disadvantage because you have to play potentially twice as many maps as your opponent. TSM playing up to 3 maps on Sunday, SSG playing up to 6. They ended up playing 5. But okay, Reality TV gets smoked by SSG this time around. A little bit surprising. Maybe SSG just figured them out, and I think part of it was just SSG, maybe a little bit of a fire lit under them, losing to RTV and then a close call against Mirage coming into Sunday, and they want to win, and they really showed it here. So not as big of a beatdown as Reality TV received from TSM, where they got 2 fewer rounds, but still only getting 7 of the 21 rounds played isn't spectacular. Yeah, Bank Border played, and then we go into the grand final. And so TSM opt for Bank for that initial pick before SSG can do any bans. And it might be looked at as a strange pick. I mean, especially after they got 7-0'd. I believe this is the first time TSM's ever been 7-0'd, and very strange for it to be Bank, which is historically one of their best maps. I mean, I think they've even handed out 1 or more 7-0s to other teams on this map. SSG played it against Mirage, won it pretty decisively, 7-3. Then they played it against RTV, won it 7-4, also fairly decisive. So even though they did win, TSM had information on Space Station, what they want to do, what they did do. They could change things up, but And then TSM, they played Bank as well. They played it against RTV, so not to say SSG had no information against them, and they didn't play it against Mirage. So I guess TSM had more information in that regard. They also played against each other on this map recently. They played each other on the last play day of NAL, and TSM took it down. It was like 7-5 or 7-4, so a victory for them there. But no, 7-0, like that was crazy. SSG was not looking to lose. Then we play on Clubhouse, which is SSG map pick, and they lose not as badly as a 7-0, but a 7-3 is still a pretty decisive loss. So looking a little bit scary for SSG going into the final map. TSM really reversed the momentum. Maybe some teams, their mental would have been broken by getting 7-0'd, but they turned it around to an impressive win on Clubhouse. Now they get to carry their own momentum into map 3, Chalet, and they were looking good. They went up 4-2, TSM did, but then SSG clawed it back 5 rounds in a row. They win 1, and the next round their boss goes in a 1v3 clutch situation, wins it out, evens the score 4-4, and then they win the next 3 rounds. So very impressive stuff from SSG, the sort of fortitude after losing in the first round to RTV and then having a close bout against Mirage and then having to play against RTV again and then facing a team that recently defeated them. It was a best of 1, but still defeated them, and then making the final map comeback. Yeah, good stuff from them, and I mean, I'm happy to see it. Everybody knows I was rooting for SSG with, I don't know, Mirage as my secondary pick, if anything. But okay, yeah, they're going to the 6th Invitational. Of course, they won in 2020. TSM won in 2022. They were the reigning world champions. They will not be winning, but Geo's on Sonic, so there is potential for 1 back-to-back world champion in Geo this year. So we'll see if that actually happens. Maybe it will, maybe it won't. But I think that's going to do it for this video. If you have any questions, comments, concerns, whatever you want to do, feel free to leave them below, and I'll catch you guys in the next video.